Is it really possible to make this insane double smash burger for just £2.26? Well, yes it is, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it using ingredients only bought from Lidl. In this video, I will show you my step-by-step guide for making amazing smash burgers at home using simple ingredients and minimal kit. Yep, it's time for a burger challenge. Now I could just make myself a tiny little burger or a cheap crappy frozen burger and call the challenge done, but that's not really my style. I want to make a burger that you would genuinely go out and pay money for and you will find delicious, but for as cheap as possible. Now to do this, I am going to pop down to Lidl. Now I can't just buy the ingredients for one burger, that would be silly. So I'm going to buy the ingredients for several burgers and then divide it up and work out how much I'm paying per burger. Starting off with 700 grams of this 18% mince. And I'll show you all of my calculations at the end of the video. I'm going to go for the classic American style cheese singles, a couple of packs of these. Then a real amazing find, 4 brioche burger buns for 35p. I couldn't believe it. Apparently they're normally 39p. Bargain. The burger's starting to take some real shape, but I want more, so I'm going to grab myself some pickles. Normally I do homemade ones, but in the spirit of the challenge I'll buy them. 3 onions for 95p and an iceberg lettuce to help keep the doctor happy. Going to make my own burger sauce using some mayonnaise, some French dressing, a little bit of salsa. You can use chutney for this, but I'm using salsa here. If anyone's wondering, this recipe is loosely based off the Beefy Boys burger recipe. And then some American mustard. Putting this all through the till together, it came to £21.96p, which isn't too bad considering I'm cooking for 3 adults and 4 children. Which reminds me they'll be arriving soon, so let's get this into the car and back home. The first thing we're going to do is make our balls of meat ready for smashing. Now I have picked 18% mince here. I normally go for 20% mince, but they had a good deal on this one. Don't really go for any lower fat percentage than this, otherwise you'll end up with really dry burgers. I am just going to divide the pack up into 6. This is going to make slightly bigger burgers than you would normally get in a smash patty. Normally they're around 80 grams. I'm making these about 116. But again, we're not trying to make the cheapest burger ever, just the best cheap burger we can make. With those all portioned up, it's time to make our balls. So when you do this, it's really important not to overwork the mince. You're really just gently pressing it into a rough ball shape. Don't mash it all together because that'll really mess with the texture of the burger. Just like with men's, don't squeeze too hard. You'll also notice I'm not adding any seasoning of any sort or any sort of binders, just the mince on its own is absolutely fine. We will add seasoning later, as you will see. Now I'm going to make the burger sauce. You want to grab yourself a container. I use these deli containers, link in the description, and empty in 1 cup of mayo. Feel free to make a mess. Then 1/3 of a cup of yellow mustard, 1/3 of a cup of French dressing, and 1/3 of a cup of your salsa. Then give it a good stir. Then you will be left with this lovely, very easy to make burger sauce. Think sort of Big Mac sauce and you're in the right territory. Then I finally shred my iceberg lettuce and slice up my white onion. Raw onion on burgers, cooked onion on hot dogs, that's the rule. All these toppings ready to go, it's time to start smashing some burgers. I'm going to be doing these today on my Buffalo outdoor gas griddle. Any sort of griddle will do. You can even do these in a sort of cast iron pan on the hob or a frying pan, something like that. Really, you just need a flat surface that's going to get nice and hot, somewhere around 250 degrees. That's Celsius, no idea what it is in Fahrenheit. This particular barbecue is powered by propane, and it takes about 5-10 minutes after you've turned it on until it's up to the right temperature to start cooking burgers. Don't skip this step and cook them on a slightly cooler surface because it makes all the difference in the final product. Now, while I'm preparing one of the burgers for a kid, I can explain to you why we do smashing burgers, not just shape them in a burger shape and then just cook them on the grill. Well, the act of actually smashing that mince into that hot surface creates this reaction called, I think it's Maillard or something like that. It's this nice brown colour. And that's where all the flavour and the crispiness comes from. So that's why we smash the burger rather than just shaping them and heating them up. That's not to say that other burgers don't have their place. You can get a lot of flavour out of a burger by smoking it, for example, but smash burgers are a real win for me. So onto our double smash burger, and the first thing we're going to do is lightly grill the bottom of the bun. I'm doing 2 at a time here for expediency, but obviously our burger will only have one bottom, just like me. Now the trick we're going to use for preparing a burger like this is to prepare the bottom bit first. I'm going to shove on some of that lovely burger sauce, then some of our sliced onion for a welcome crunch, some of the shredded iceberg lettuce because salad keeps you slim and healthy, and finally our gherkins. And this will form the base that we will then put the rest of the burger on top of, as you will see. And then it is time to smash. Now I'm using a cast iron burger press here, but I would actually recommend a stainless steel one. I should have bought that instead of this, and that's why I'm having to use this grease-proof paper. With a stainless steel one, it should just slide off nicely. Now you really do need to give it quite a lot of welly when you're smashing it down. Sometimes use 2 hands. You want to get this thing as thin as possible and get as much contact with that meat to the griddle itself, which is going to give you the best chance for that Maillard reaction. Someone tell me how to pronounce it in the comments, please. And it is now and only now that we'll actually add some seasoning by the way of a little bit of salt to each burger. And you're going to let them cook like this until you start to see these brown bubbles forming in the middle and the edges getting nice and brown. At which point you should just be able to flip them over. If you're getting a bit too much resistance, then it means you've probably not cooked it for long enough. Or you need to get yourself a new spatula. Grab yourself one of these metal ones. Now that dark brown colour, that's exactly what you're looking for. That's where all the flavour comes from. Once you flip them, it's a bit of a race against time. You want to get the cheese slices on top of each burger, pop the burger lid on one of them, squirt yourself some water to create a bit of steam, and then cover it with a lid. Any lid will do. You just want to steam it for about 30 seconds. It's going to melt the cheese and help that lid not fall apart when you're eating. Once it's had its 30 seconds, you simply want to stack it up together, and then we're going to put it on the base that we've built already. And this is why we put all of our toppings on the base of our burger, not in between the lid and the cheese, because that lid and the cheese are sort of stuck together at this point. You just want to gently slide off your burgers onto your base, and there you have the perfect double smashed cheeseburger for just £2.26. Now, I for one am very happy with the result of this burger, and honestly believe it beats most of the burgers that you're going to be able to buy out and about from a restaurant. And considering it only cost me £2.26p, I'd say that's very impressive. But how did I reach that number? Let's look at the maths. So, if we take the combined cost of all the ingredients that I bought all together, we're at, as I said, £21.96p. So to work out how much of that cost is actually going to my burger, I just need to work out how many servings per pack there are for a burger. For example, I take one of my 700 gram mince packets and I split it into 6 to make 6 patties. 2 of them go into a burger, so there are 3 servings per pack. Therefore, the cost in my burger is £1.76. I do this with all the ingredients and I end up at £2.26. Now, just to note that also I do this with the sauce, so I take all the ingredients, work out how much of it goes into one pot of sauce, and then split that pot of sauce by how much is actually in the burger. Works out 4p. But let's take the maths further. I actually ended up doing some single burgers as well, so if you make exactly the same burger but only use 1 patty, not 2, that means it's 88p for your mince, not £1.76, so your total burger cost is only £1.28. Then I did some kids burgers. Now they just didn't want any of the lettuce or gherkins or onions, so we've just got the burger, the cheese, the rolls and the sauce, so it's £1.11. Now let's look at what I actually did on the day. So we had 3 double burgers for 3 adults, a single normal burger for an adult that wasn't quite full, and then we had 5 kids burgers for the 4 kids because one kid is greedier than the rest. So these are the costs added up, and for 9 burgers in total, it actually cost me £13.59. So my entire barbecue for 3 grown-ups and 4 children cost £13.59. But then this got me thinking, £2.26 for that burger is very, very cheap. What would I normally pay for that if I went out? £18, £15, not sure. Let's say £10. I think £10 is a very fair price for that burger, especially considering the size of it. So if I would normally spend £10 on that burger and I only spent £2.26, well, that gives me a saving of £7.74. Now, the grill is currently available on Amazon at £184.74p. So, how many burgers would I have to cook on it to make it basically pay for itself and totally justify my purchase? Well, all you need to do is divide one by the other and you get 24, rounding up slightly. You get 24. So basically, cook 24 burgers on it, and you've paid for your grill. I have totally justified the cost of buying myself a new barbecue and given you the perfect excuse to go out and buy a new barbecue because it pays for itself. I'll pop a link in the description. And if you get any grief from your partner about it, just show them this video and they'll be completely pacified. And if you want to see more fun food challenges, delicious, easy to cook barbecue recipes, and solid marriage advice, then you're in the right place, so please subscribe, it's completely free. And if you have any ideas of what you'd like me to do for our next food challenge, then just like His Majesty the King, I am all ears. Just pop your suggestion down in the comments and I'll take a look. And if you try this burger out for yourself, please let me know in the comments, I'd really like to know how it turns out for you. And I will see you in the next one.